should crypto investors, should they be concerned right now?
I think crypto investors should always be concerned at all times about where their government is going. We've seen really a Cambrian blossoming of new assets and new technologies in a space that's been, sort of contentious over the last decade, and it's I think always the role of the crypto industry, the crypto consumer, the crypto user, the community writ large, to keep a close eye on where the government is going to be placing down guide rails, and when government gets it wrong, picking winners and losers.
So Marco, like you said, crypto investors should be concerned at all times about what their government is doing. And it's not just the OCC. I mean, you have the SEC as well, seemingly taking a pretty harsh stance towards crypto. And I mean, if we look at what Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has said on Twitter and elsewhere, he's taken a pretty adversarial tone. I'm curious about Kraken's approach to regulators. Have you been in touch with the SEC?
We keep an open line of communication with regulators, not just in the U.S. but abroad. I'll say that I've certainly followed Brian's tweets, and I'll say that look, you're just not being honest with yourself about the crypto community if a little bit of you doesn't think he's saying what a lot of people are thinking. But at the same time, I can't support that kind of approach with regulators. It's just never been successful historically. And from our experience, we found the SEC to be open to discussion. We found them to be receptive to new ideas. They're certainly not in a position to just do what the industry tells them, and they're not in a position to do what any particular investor group tells them. But I think you're just living in a fantasy world if you don't believe that this industry is going to face heavier, more Wall Street-like regulation from governments in the U.S. and abroad. And Kraken has simply, I think, been practical about that future. We know it's coming. We want to help craft as safe and a sane regulatory environment as we can.
What does a safe and sane regulatory environment look like specifically, Marco? What do you want to see from regulators?
Well, today, crypto is actually fairly heavily regulated compared to most industries. Very broadly in financial services, you've got three kinds of regulation. You have consumer protection regulation, you have anti-crime regulation, and you have the third category, which is what's in real debate today, investor protection regulation. We have had anti-crime regulation in crypto from the beginning. Those are the laws that require you to provide your driver's license, social security number, whatever you might have in terms of KYC, know your customer. They require that you identify yourself when you sign up with an exchange, with a crypto exchange, for example. Kraken has required KYC and complies with those laws, always has. Then there's consumer protection regulation, which makes sure that the person who's owed the money gets the money at the end of the day. But that's different than what's at stake now. That's different than what's at stake today with the SEC. Those laws already apply. What the SEC and what other regulators are debating right now is how we ought to apply investor protection rules, which is a whole new set of rules, a whole different set of rules. They're the kind of rules that say, if you put an order into an exchange, are you going to get the best price? If you put an order into an exchange, are you going to be able to put a corresponding sell order if your order was a buy order into the exchange when the price moves? Those are the kinds of regulations that apply today to broker dealers, the kind of regulations that apply to national securities exchanges in some cases. And I got to say, I think the industry is crazy if it doesn't think that stuff is coming.